everybody.
Hi, Nick.
Did you do a homework, Tim?
No.
Did I do one? I got something together, yes. If that's what you're asking. All right, here we go. Good morning, Geshe.
I'm sleepy.
All right. I think this is going to be a lot easier than last time. All right. Here we go. First of all, here's a review. We didn't do very much, so this will be fun. To review, how many topics and chapters are there in the Jewel of Realizations? Sorry, there's a typo.
8.
Is it a topic or a chapter?
Yes.
Congratulations. There are 8 topics and 8 chapters. Yay. Well, generally, mainly. All right.
Good job.
Here we go. In this sentence, we discovered an error when we were translating last class. Explain what this error is and explain why. And use grammatical terms too.
We corrected it from the possessive case to the instrumental case.
Yes.
So where it would have meant that the realization, that looks like the commentary was owned by the master. It appears that it was written by the master.
Right.
Or something was done by the master. I'm trying to understand exactly what this means.
Well, it's
say he wrote it,
Yeah.
and then Dindrel would be commentary.
Yeah.
So you need a subject, a subject that is acting to do the say.
correct, right? So that's why we changed that. So
I think what's hanging Nick up is that toka is normally a verb, and here it's just part of a title.
Yeah. There was the realization of the commentary, but then the Zay does make it pretty clear that he's talking about composing it.
The commentary was called Easy to Understand. That's all.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Toka is the name of the commentary. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Yes. So I'm guessing Geshe, this was. How would they have made this error when they were going from the wood block to the
Handwritten.
Yeah. Is it just?
I have a feeling big pieces were done by memory or something. I don't know. But it was chaotic at that time. They were in a refugee camp, and yeah, a rough place, a very dangerous place. And so, yeah.
Cool. All right. What's a Boolean search? Why is this type of database search incredibly powerful when searching the ALL database? Why did we spend half of my class on that?
Well, the first question we have to answer is, what's the proper way to pronounce Boolean?
Boolean, and
Is it
what's
like
the
the
proper
soup?
way? And what's the proper way of spelling search?
Boolean.
Berlin sea
It
urchin.
denotes a system of algebraic notation used to represent logical propositions, especially when you're trying to search on stuff.
Right. So
And
typically,
in this case, it's a binary variable, or sometimes tertiary, but I don't think it's quite set up for tertiary, but yeah, it is set up for tertiary. We can have this or that and that.
Oh my God, is
And
there
we're
really a
looking for
George Boole?
true and false.
everyone's using
Wow,
Google.
Stanley.
Everyone's looking at the same
This
Google.
is incredibly. I didn't know. There's a yeah. Nice, Stanley. There's a George Boole apparently that we have to thank for all that.
Stanley just made that up.
If he did, I want to believe it. I don't want him to tell me if it's not true.
All right. So let's translate that into waiter language.
Basically,
use-
you can search for one thing near another thing, which is extremely useful in these ancient books. Yep.
Yeah, it allows for searches like and, but, not. It's a typical search. It's how it's like how Google searches along with their AI, but it allows us to, as Geshe said, do search near things and exclude things as well from searches. And so in the Tibetan language, here's my question. Why is this very powerful specifically in Tibetan language compared to, say, other languages?
Because they sometimes spell the same thing differently,
Mhm.
for one.
Right.
And other issues come up like that. Like there are similar words or different words that they may have used to express the same thing, and they use a ton of abbreviations.
Yeah, in philosophy, they very often abbreviate ideas and stuff. The names. It's like instead of Timothy Lowenhaupt, it's like Timlo.
Yeah, Tim Lowe. That's a good name.
I like that. You guys can start calling me that if you want.
We might.
All right, great.
How
That's
about Athi Enhout?
I like it.
So you see stuff like that. That's why it's so useful. Yeah.
Cool. That's all that homework was. So Geshe, I have to apologize that my vacation was 2 days at Diamond Mountain setting up for Diamond Mountain.
Okay, I understand.
And so I tried to do the bibliography part, and it just didn't. And my brain just wasn't functioning around it.
Yeah,
So
don't worry about it.
do you want to do that for the next class, maybe? And when I have some time to think about it, and then we can move on with the text.
Yeah, I'm going to let you do it. I can help you at Diamond Mountain if you need some help. Oh, no, I won't be there then. Okay. All right, let's get to work then.
Okay. So I did start translating the next debate in part.
Do you want to show any of it?
Yes, please.
Let me bail out of here. How do I bail out of here? Okay. There we go. Okay.
Okay. So this is where we were.
Good. Nice. Exactly. Perfect. Okay.
All right,
First
cool.
sentence is fine.
All right.
And the and
You can see where I didn't listen to your class.
what do you want to call it? You can call it the briefer sutra of the perfection wisdom. They just call it something generic like that. You can call it. They call it the briefer sutra. Yeah.
All right, okay.
Okay. The group of 11 children's sutra. 11. Yeah, fix 11s. There you go. 11 children's sutra. The sutra Mansula. What does he say? I would just say for the second one, the sutra in a few words. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And I would call the last one the Heart Sutra. Here.
Oh, I'm sorry. That was me. Yeah. Now that I
Yeah,
see
yeah.
it, I feel really dumb.
Okay. No, it's okay. All right. It's good.
Okay, here we go. And then I'm going to put a footnote in here define the other
8. Yeah.
8. Yes.
Yeah. Okay, good.
All right.
And here's a list of the 8.
And all 8 of them are, I'm assuming you put them in here, right?
Yeah, they are in here. This is Tsongkhapa's lecture 13, The String of Golden Beads, which is one of his, I think it's the first major work he ever wrote. He was still in his 20s. And as I've mentioned before, it has a different flavor to it. He was not as mature. And he kind of swamps you with information. But sometimes the swamp is useful. So in this case, he lists the 11. Yeah.
Then I got through this next paragraph, and then I wasn't sure if I was anywhere correct. So that's when I was like, let's just stop here and then we'll move on.
The Dunja is a separate list of the 70 important topics of the Jewel of Realizations.
Okay.
When Rinpoche taught this topic to us, knowing that it would take 50 years to go through the whole monastic textbook, he taught us a briefer textbook on the 70 topics. And in fact, he had it recarved, and it was the last carving done in the monasteries at all. And then those guys died. They were 2 old men, 2 old brothers. So that was probably the last book ever carved. First,
So I had understood that the Dunduncha was a synonym for the Jewel of Realizations. So that's
no, it's a treatment of the 70. It's just the subject matter, really. You see, of the Nguyen. Yeah, and there have been separate books written about it. But if you say what's the subject matter of the Nguyen, you got to ask: do you want the 8 topics or do you want the 70? You know. Okay. Gone means through. It's an idiom that means through. So
by setting the Mother Sutras set forth to explain the meaning of the 70 topics.
Yeah, the subject of the sentence is Dambo Nam, the Mother Sutras, right? The first is. And the verb of this first sentence is tenla bepa. Yeah, they set down or they set forth. So this is who's saying this, by the way?
This is the Kachik still.
Yeah. So he says, what makes something a yum as opposed to a say, right? Mm-hmm. What makes something a Mother Sutra rather than a Child Sutra is that it treats the 8 topics and the 70 topics. It sets forth the 8 topics and the 70 topics chatsang in their entirety. Okay. Yeah. So that finishes this, and Gone, because of that, we call them Mother Sutras. You see what I mean?
Right.
And then the Chimanam, which means the ladders, right? The ladder sutras, meaning the child sutras, they only tenla bepa. Chogerate Sam is an idiom. Chogerate Sam goes together. And it's an idiom, and it means an isolated topic. Isolated topics, not necessarily the whole subject matter. Yeah. Okay. So they'll focus in on they'll focus in on one topic or two topics or three topics, something like that. They'll focus in on isolated topics, and they don't set forth sangwa.
In their entirety.
Yeah, all the topics of the Ngantokyen. Okay, Minbepe Gone, and that's why we call them children's sutras. And because it's Serna, this idea is
incorrect.
Yeah, it's false. Yeah, okay. There's something wrong. What separates the men from the boys, I mean the mothers from the children, is that it's not that the mother sutras cover all the 8 topics or the 70 topics, and it's not that the child sutras only treat some of them. That's not what separates mother sutras from child sutras. Speaking of mothers and children's, I'm not supposed to tell you, but V's son had his baby last night.
Whoa.
And it's a beautiful girl. And she says she wants to get to know Word's daughter, okay?
She came out speaking full sentences?
Yeah,
Not surprised.
not that bad.
Okay.
That's her first genetic child, grandchild. That makes me a real grandpa. Okay. Nice.
All right, cool.
Congrats, Geshe-la.
Yeah, somehow I felt more responsibility come down on my head last night.
The grandparents have it easy.
Yeah,
You bring us all cigars.
we'll find out. You'll find out. Okay. We're going down here. Okay, that's what he says. Okay, Tim, please read. Nick, please check.
Ona searching yike chikma churchen nunto gengi cook how you pronounce that word?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chuki chuche la kabge tang chuchala nopo ge du chewe gone tenla bepsu rungwa yin partal could nun tok gengi shen jasawe no yin pager. Good morning.
Good morning. I got the, hang on. I want to give you guys a bigger.
Tim, you had the K right the first time in Yike. Yike.
UK, where are we?
Oh, in the top line, Yike.
UK.
I'm just stalling while Geshe Michael's doing whatever he's doing.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Sorry, I want to get you a big cursor. Hang on.
Pretty big.
It's big now.
Pretty big.
There you go. So let's consider the what? Sherchen Yige Chigma, Tim.
The sutra in one syllable.
Yeah, good. It must be the case that its subject matter is, that it is treated or something, tenla bepa, okay? It must be the case that it is appropriate, runga, to be treated by the Abhisama Alankara, by the jewel of realizations. Why? Because it must be the case that the jewel of realizations can set forth the meaning of the Prajna Paramita in one syllable by using the 8 chapters to describe its how do you say that? The wording it uses to express its ideas. Jeje means the wording it uses to express its ideas. Jeja means the ideas expressed by that wording. You see what I mean? So Jeje is the expressors, and Jeja is the subjects which are expressed. Okay, the expressors might be 8 chapters, for example. So it must be treated, that's single syllable perfection of wisdom, must be treated by Master Sanga's jewel by explaining its structure in 8 chapters and explaining its content in 8 ideas. Okay, it must be. Why? Because it is a Sheijia Tsawei Do for the Mundogen. What's that mean?
Because it is it's a main sutra explained by the Jewel of Realizations.
Yeah, didn't we just say it wasn't in the last couple of pages?
Yes, we did.
Do you think it is or it's not?
I think he's using it to, I don't know. It seems like he's used it. We weren't even asking whether it was a main. Can we go back to the top of the,
Yeah.
because the Kachik has 3 or 4 parts. If we keep going up. Right. So
Yeah.
he starts by saying,
Oh, he says if it's a root sutra explained by the Mundogen, by the Jewel of Realizations, it must be one of the 17 sutras.
right.
Okay. Then we say, well, let's, yeah. So, oh, I'm sorry. It must be one of the, yeah,
Yes.
that, oh, yeah, he says there's 17 exactly sutras that are root sutras explained, are the main sutras explained by Master Sangha.
Right. So where I got lost here is that one of the examples that gets used here is the perfection of wisdom in 1.
Here it is, right here.
Right. And that's the Kachik saying, well, it is one of the main sutras. And then in the next thing he says, well, it is one of the main sutras. And then that's where I was like, I'm lost.
Maybe there's a mistake in the Tibetan. Let me see. Yeah, then he says, what separates the Mother Sutras from the Child Sutras is that the Mother Sutras treat all 8 topics, and the Child Sutras only treat some of them. Okay.
Right.
But they don't.
Right. And then he's saying that this one sutra can be explained in all the topics or by all the topics. Maybe.
Yeah. Oh, he claims it's a Tsawei Do. He said it's there are 17 Tsawei Dos. And he listed Yike Chigma as one of them. Okay. He said there are 17, 6 mothers, 11 children, and all 17 are Tsawei Do, are the main sutras. So this, because it is a Tsawei Do, we are just repeating his wrong idea back to him.
Okay.
Okay. He says both the Mother and the Child Sutras, all of them are Tsawei Do. Our main sutras explained by the Jewel of Realizations. They are main sutras explained by the Jewel of Realizations. And it's just that the Mother Sutras explain all the necessary topics, and the Child Sutras only explain some of the necessary topics, but they all can be considered main sutras on the perfection of wisdom explained by the Abhisamankara. And then we say, well, if they're all main sutras explained by the Abhisamankara, whether they treat all 8 chapters or just some of the stuff, then let's take the 1 syllable sutra. Are you insisting that it's a root? It's the main sutra explained by the Abhisamankara, right? Okay. And then he says, yeah, I agree. It's the main sutra explained by the Abhisamankara, by the Jewel of Realizations. And we answer, here we go, Mr. Kramer.
All right. 2 minute. Kyuki juchela kabge mepecher.
Yeah. And don't forget, we're talking about subject matter and means of expression. Okay. So the subject matter is called Ja, and it's called Ngopoge, the 8 ideas. And then the means of expression, J, is the 8 chapters. Okay, and we say, well, if the single syllable sutra on the perfection of wisdom is one of the main sutras treated by the Jewel of Realizations, then it should treat the perfection of wisdom through 8 chapters, or through the same kind of methodology of 8 chapters. Okay, and it doesn't. Right? And roughly the 8 chapters match the 8 topics. Okay. Okay, here we go again. Ben, you're still on.
Got it.
Well, I'm sorry, Geshe, my head. Could you say that? I'm sorry, my brain just.
He said, basically, he said all the Mother Perfection of Wisdom Sutras and all the Child Perfection of Wisdom Sutras do treat the 8 topics and the 8 chapters,
right, okay,
whether they do so in full or whether they do so in part. And we say, how can you ever stretch the one word Perfection of Wisdom Sutra to say it has been treated in 8 chapters? Okay.
Right, okay.
Okay. Okay. Still with Dr. Kramer.
Okay.
By the way, I'll give you a quiz here. Mr. Tim, why is this folio number so weird? What's that capital I?
Because I did it, and I know why we did it. Because there's 7 in the ACIP database. There's I think there's the chapters are broken up into 8 files.
Yeah, there's actually your book subsumes, I think, 6 books. I'm not sure.
Yeah, 6.
Yeah, so because some of the chapters are combined.
Right. Okay,
But
yeah.
you're not translating one book. You're translating an encyclopedia of the perfection of wisdom, you know. So we had to restart the page numbers every volume. So there's going to be 1 5B, 2 5B, 3 5B, 4 5B, like that. Okay. All right, go ahead, Sheyang.
Young, Dodupa ka Tetri Gay Tongpa Le, Loksu Drenpa Mi Rikpartal.
This is going on.
Rikpartal, because we're agreed to this. Tetri Gay Tongpe Leu Yashipa Yin page here.
Yeah, good. So I'm going to go up. Please don't be blinded.
While you're scrolling, the live translators have asked that you highlight with your cursor the words that you're discussing when you're giving the teaching.
Okay, good.
Thank you.
Where was I? Sorry, I got to go back. Yeah. Oh, okay. Dodupa and Tigepa. All right. Okay, now I got. He lists the Dodupa, right? The Briefer Sutra, which means the Briefer Sutra on the Perfection of Wisdom. He lists it as one of the mothers. Okay, and then he lists the. He doesn't even list the other one. Oh, he does. Hang on. Yeah. Ti-ge tomba means what? Ti-ge tomba means
18,000.
Yeah, the 18,000 verses. And then he lists the Briefer Sutra separately from the 18,000 verses, okay? He should have had a comma here, actually.
Okay.
In fact, there should have been, okay. because he listed 6, right? Ge, Ding, Du, Chipa, Chige Tomba, Dodupa. He listed 6 mother sutras, right? And now we're going to do a completely separate debate. So just notice that among the 6 mother sutras on the perfection of wisdom, he has listed separately the 18,000 verses and the briefer sutra, okay? Those are number 5 and number 6 in his list, okay? Cool. Now we say, your whole idea is wrong because we're talking main sutra, and a single syllable can't be a main sutra, okay? So we don't, where are we?
I think you scroll.
I'm sorry. Yeah. That's your first problem, is calling the perfection of wisdom in a single syllable. Your first problem is that you called that a main sutra. Whether you're talking child or mother, doesn't matter. All the child and mother sutras are main sutras explained by the perfection of wisdom, according to you. Well, then they should be divisible into 8 chapters in their treatment, and they're not. So don't call them all Sawedo. Don't call all 17 of those sutras the main sutras explained by Master Sangha and Maitreya. They are not, because one of them can't even be divided into 8 chapters like that, okay? Then moreover, among the 6 mothers that you listed the 18,000 verses, Tige Tompa, and you also listed the shorter Perfection of Wisdom Sutra, but they are not separate. Loksu. Loksu means they are no separate books. They are not separate books. Loksu Demba, this Demba means to count them. Okay, it's wrong for you to say there are 6 mother sutras of the perfection of wisdom. He says, why? And we say, you can't separate the shorter sutra and the 18,000 verses sutra. Well, yes, I can. The shorter one's much, much shorter, and the 18,000 is much, much bigger. They are separate sutras. And we say, no, they're not, because the shorter sutra is actually a liu inside of Chige Tomba.
Okay.
Okay. It's just one of the chapters in the 18,000 verses. Okay. What we call the briefer sutra is just extracted from the 18,000 verses. Got it? So don't tell me there's 6 mother sutras. There's only 5. And the 5th one of the chapters was broken out as a separate perfection of wisdom sutra. Okay. Got it?
Yeah, and what's the she doing there?
Gyashipa means the 84th chapter. Okay.
84th. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay.
Yeah. He says, look, what everyone calls the briefer Perfection of Wisdom Sutra is actually just one chapter chopped out of the 18,000 verses. Okay. And by the way, does the Rangloop still say there are 6 sutras? Do we still agree to that position? The Tsongkhapa expressed that position in his famous commentary. He does. He says, we can treat it as a 6th perfection of wisdom mother. No problem. I don't care if it's a chapter out of the 5th one. Okay, we treat it separately. Cool. You okay? It's true that the 6th Mother Sutra is a piece out of the 5th Mother Sutra,
Okay.
but it's so often treated separately, it deserves to be called a separate Mother Sutra. Okay. It's true, it's only one chapter in the one of the longer Mother Sutras, but it has come to be known as a separate work.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all. That's all. It deserves to be a 6th Mother Sutra, even though it's part of the 5th one.
So how are we arguing against the Kachik in this then?
We're not addressing, we just went off on a tangent.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
Okay.
we said, anyway, I questioned that you listed 6 Mother Sutras. And he's like, what? Everybody lists 6 Mother Sutras. And then it's just basically Kedab Dembadagi showing off. He says, God, didn't you ever figure out that the 6th Mother Sutra is just a chapter chopped out of the 5th Mother Sutra? He's just kind of being cute. It doesn't really relate to the argument. Okay. You know, he said there are 6 Mother Sutras. Kedab Dembadagi says, well,
All right,
5.5. 5.5, technically. Okay.
Okay. All right. All right.
That's all. He's splitting hairs. That's how he made it a 50-year project. Okay. Then the other guy says, I disagree that the briefer sutra on the perfection of wisdom constitutes the 84th chapter in the 18,000 verses on the perfection of wisdom sutra. And we say, yes, it does, because Dr. Ben, you're still there.
Derta Trige Tongpa La Leu Yatung Yapecher.
Well, that's true. It is the 84th chapter of the 18,000 verses, because the 18,000 verses has 87 chapters.
Okay. All right. That's an okay reason, I guess.
Is it a Takyan Dak? If something has 87 chapters, then the 84th chapter is the briefer sutra.
Not
It's not.
necessarily.
If you write a novel in 87 chapters, is the shorter, perfection of wisdom come from the 84th chapter? It's not very,
Compelling.
he's just saying, look, didn't you figure it out? And I went and got those 2 chapters and looked at them, which is my job as your grandpa. And I just wanted to confirm it. So here's the 18,000 verses. Here's the final line of the whole sutra. And indeed, it does include 87 chapters, okay? The last chapter indeed is 87th, okay? Then I went to look at the 84th chapter and to see how it ended up. Here it is, okay? And it is indeed called Dupa. The 84th chapter is indeed called the abbreviation of the sutra, okay? And I thought you might want to see where that sutra starts. And it is a sutra consisting of metaphors for the state beyond all conceptual thought. Okay. Sorry. Okay. Oh, I got the wrong thing here. This is not the right thing. Okay. This is not the right thing. Oh, that's where it starts. I gotta check this. Okay. Check this. Okay. Anyway, it is indeed. Okay, luckily, a new debate. And who do we got here? Word, are you there?
Yes.
Go ahead.
All right, Kachik. I have a question. I'm seeing a lot of spaces between in the Kachik and that comma.
Yeah, it should be like this. Look, it's mistyped. And by the way, again, this was this is the very first book we ever typed because it was so important. So you're not allowed to put a comma after a G. So there has to be a space, and then the next sentence has to start with a comma. Okay. They put too many spaces.
Okay.
Angela,
all right.
do you want to change, add your notation that you did that? Or
I mean, technically we should. Yeah.
we should just do it?
We could maybe automate it. I mean, okay. I don't know. He doesn't want to do it. Okay. It just takes too long. That's the thing. Okay, good. All right, go ahead. Java Dunsel.
Dropa dun sao dato gen jarwe dropa yun serna.
Yeah, he's jumped to another topic, and Master Haribhadra has written two famous commentaries on the perfection of wisdom. Okay, Master Haribhadra. I don't know his dates. I'm guessing around the 6th or 7th century, but he wrote two commentaries on the Abhisama Ankara. Master Haribhadra wrote two commentaries to the Jewel of Realizations. Okay, and he says, the other guy says, the one commentary by Haribhadra called Sputarta, which means the meaning clarified, okay? The clarified meaning, didn't sell. He says that's a commentary which relates to Jarwa, okay? The Dogen, the Sutra Alankara, okay? All right. And there's some confusion here of three different Sutra Alankaras, okay? There's three different Sutra Alankaras. There's three different works that can be described as the jewel of the sutras, okay? One is Asanga's Muntogen, the jewel of realizations. One is the Dodegen, which is called the other jewel, written by Maitreya and Asanga, the jewel of the sutras. And then there's the sutra jewel, okay? So you got three books here. One is called the jewel of realizations. One is called the jewel of the sutras. And one is called the jewel of the sutra group, okay? Dogen, Dodegen, and Nguntoken, three different books, okay? So which one did Haribhadra write his commentary, his two commentaries to? Okay, got it? You okay, Tim? You're awful quiet.
I'm good.
Yeah, there's three different commentaries on the perfection of wisdom. One is called Jewel of the Sutra. One is called Jewel of the Sutras. And one is called Jewel of Realizations. There's three jewels. Okay, and they're all commentaries on the perfection of wisdom. So he says the commentary by Haribhadra, which is a commentary to one of the three jewels. Which of the three jewels?
But the jewel of realizations.
Yeah, it's a commentary on the jewel of realizations. But he makes a mistake. And he says Haribhadra's commentary is a commentary on the jewel of the sutra jewel. Okay, so don't forget there's three different jewels. Jewel of the sutra, jewel of the sutras, and jewel of realizations, okay? And he says Haribhadra was commenting on the jewel sutra jewel, not sutras jewel, okay? Got it? He made a mistake. Okay, then we respond, hey, Word, you're still there.
Demi te partal. Dedo genma jarwe dro pa yin pe cheer. Deni le. Gaksok jorba ma chekyang she sung pe cheer.
Yeah, and then we say that cannot be correct about the first of Master Haribhadra's two commentaries on the perfection of wisdom, because it is not a commentary which treats the sutra jewel. It's not a commentary on the sutra jewel because it doesn't treat the sutra jewel. All right, Jarwa. Okay, it doesn't treat the sutra jewel. Then he says, why do you say that? And we say, because Master Haribhadra's book includes the wording, Ngak Sok Jorwa Mache. I am not explaining the wording. Here, Ngak means wording, okay? I am not explaining the wording, okay? I'm not referring to the wording of what?
The sutra jewel.
Yeah, what he means is the sutras. The purpose of my commentary on Master Asanga's Jewel of Realizations is not to explain the wording of the sutras. I do not seek to explain the wordings of the sutras. I'm trying to give you the ideas. Okay. He specifically says, I am not treating the wording. Okay. Cool.
Who said?
Haribhadra.
Master Haribhadra said that he's not treating the wording.
No, yeah, he said, I'm not treating the wording of the Prajnaparamita Sutras. It's not my goal. My goal is to explain Maitreya and Asanga's commentary to those sutras. Okay, but I'm not dealing with the wording of the sutras. And by the way, they are not, because that wording is very, as I mentioned, that wording, the emptiness is expressed in the Prajnaparamita Sutras through novels, largely through novels. Okay, they are extended novels. Okay, they're not philosophical texts per se. Okay, all right. So he says, look, I'm not going to tell you the story of Ever Weeping, who was in the park in the middle of the town and crying because he couldn't make offerings to his teacher. This comes from this is the 8,000 verses, right? He says, I don't want to tell you what gifts he wanted to give his teacher or why he was crying or anything like that. I want to tell you about emptiness. Okay, cool. All right. And by the way, when Haribhadra in the first of his two commentaries says, I'm not treating the words of the sutra, I went and got you that. It's here, okay? Here he says, I'm going to try to make this easy for you. And I'm not going to try to explain the wording of the sutras. Okay, cool. There's the quotation. Okay, for your footnote. Oh, wait. And there's some more commentaries on that I was playing with. Okay, please read, Tim. And Word, you're still up.
Konare. Kyun mete te dunis siki chas so were macharwe dunyan serna.
Yeah, the other guy says, look, he did say that. Haribhadra did say, I'm not treating the wording of those Perfection of Wisdom sutras. I'm treating the ideas, okay? And then the other guy says, well, no problem. When he said he wasn't treating the wording, what he meant was he's not mainly treating the wording. Chatso means mainly, okay? Like Lamson, Namsum, right? Three main paths, right? Chatso means that's not his main focus, but it doesn't mean he never talks about the wording of the Perfection of Wisdom Sutras, okay? Who's talking? The other guy. Yeah. So look, the other guy says, I think he was talking about the sutras and talking about the wording of the sutras. And when he said he wasn't going to talk about the wording, he just meant he's going to focus on the meaning and not on the wording. Okay, cool. Okay.
Okay.
And then we say, well then, who we got? Adam, are you there? Where's that? Okay, let's go.
Oh, nah. Doi dun ten la bepe drapa yina. Dundra, is that a prenasal dundra? Do,
Yeah, it is. Don't drop.
Dundra yin gupartal.
Gubata.
Gupartal, okay.
Gubata.
Drapa dun sel dogen jarwe drapa yin pa kangshik. Cookie lung dunte page here.
Good. This is cool. We say, well then. You okay, you guys?
Yep.
Well then, if a commentary sets forth the meaning of a sutra, okay? Doi dun tenla bepe damayina. If something is a commentary which sets forth the meaning of a sutra, okay, then does it have to be a commentary to that sutra?
Hmm.
Okay, this is us criticizing him. Okay, I'll say it again. If something is a commentary that sets forth the meaning of something found in the sutra, is it necessarily a commentary on that sutra? What do you guys think?
No.
Not really,
I don't
right?
see why it should have to be. Yeah.
No, it doesn't have
Yeah,
to.
yeah. Just because it's treating the subject matter of a certain sutra doesn't mean it was intended as a commentary to that sutra. Okay, got it? Okay, and then
3 minutes, Kashala.
okay, I think we can do it. Jalpa dun sao dogen jawi jalpa yimba kanshi, because the Hari Bhadra's commentary, which is his first commentary, which is called Jalpa dun sao, the clear meaning of the commentary on the clear meaning, okay? It does comment on the jewel sutra, okay? By the way, it doesn't say the jewel of the sutras, okay? Just the sutra jewel, okay? It does comment on the sutras, okay? And your statement is correct. Kyuki lungdan tebeche. The meaning of what you said is correct. What did he say? He said if it comments on the subject matter of a sutra, it must be a commentary to that sutra. Okay? If it talks about perfection of wisdom, or if it talks about emptiness, it must be a commentary on the perfection of wisdom sutras. You see his fault, Tim? You okay?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. He said any commentary by an Indian master after Lord Buddha, which treats the perfection of wisdom, is a commentary on the perfection of wisdom sutras. And we say makyap.
Right, because right.
It doesn't have to be specifically aimed at a certain perfection of wisdom sutra. It could be just treating emptiness.
Right.
That doesn't make it a commentary on a particular perfection of wisdom sutra. Okay, got it? Then he says, well, okay, what the hell? Yeah, Hari Bhadra was commenting on the perfection of wisdom sutras. And we say, Dominite, that's not necessarily the case, because there's two kinds of shastras, okay? Shastras. And this is extremely important. All Buddhist literature from ancient India is either a sutra, a shastra, or a tantra, okay? All Buddhist books from ancient India before 1000 AD, they are all either sutras, tantras, or commentaries on the sutras and tantras, okay? They're either sutras, tantras, or shastras, okay? Shastras. And then he says, look, Tenjin Namdak, this is Ranglu, this is what we believe. The great commentaries from ancient India. By the way, what do you call that body of literature in Tibetan translation? The great
The commentaries.
that's called Tengyur. That's called Tengyur, which is Tenche Gyurwa. The Shastras, the great commentaries from India translated. What do you call the original teachings by Lord Buddha, which they comment on.
The
Kangyo.
Kangyo.
That's called Kangyo. That's called Kangyo. And in East Tibet, where they talk funny, they call it Kanjur in Tanjur. But that's not the correct pronunciation. Okay. But many Western scholars use that. Okay. 2 minutes. Tenja. Okay. So this is the important, here's the final point and we can stop. Look, there's two kinds of Shastras. There's two kinds of great commentaries from ancient India. One of them relates directly to the ancient teachings by Lord Buddha. You can tie it directly to a certain sutra or tantra. But there's many Shastras, there's many classical Indian commentaries, which are general explanations of Buddhist philosophy, and they don't tie to a certain sutra or a certain tantra. Okay, and that's called Matemba. Okay, they don't relate, they cannot be associated to a specific sutra or a specific tantra. People started writing books of philosophy that were not commentaries. Got it? Cool. So there's two kinds of commentaries, one which is a commentary and one which is not.
Yeah.
Cool. Cool. All right. All right. I don't know.
Are we coming
Go
to
ahead.
a wrong loop section where, are we ever going to get a concise definition of what is a
Extremely-
commentary to a sutra?
Extremely soon. Extremely soon.
Okay.
But I'm going to anticipate something. You're going to be disappointed because he goes off on Shingde Soje.
Uh-huh.
When he gets to
Okay,
wrong
on the innovators.
when he gets to Rangluk, suddenly he takes off his mask and says, I'm not here to explain Shastras. I'm not here to explain sutras and tantras. I'm here to explain what it is to be truly creative and innovative in how you explain Lord Buddha's teachings. Okay. Which is, I think, perfect for mixed nuts. And for what we do with these books in DCI or YSI or anything else, okay? How can you be the Elon Musk of the great books? That's what he really wants to talk about. Okay.
Let's not be that.
Well, I mean the nice part. Okay. All right, you guys. How long we got, Nick? Give us a little break.
7 minutes.
Yay, Uncle Nick. Okay,
Yes,
see you guys soon.
Thank you, Geshe-la.
By the way, we have a very straightforward book coming up. No problem.
Thank you, Geshe-la.
All right, you're welcome.
Thanks, everybody. Have a nice break.